me wanna holler, go away. I need more peace and hope and love. Where do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I've got strategies for living, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
Oh, you know, we need them. Yeah, we need those strategies, don't we? Those strategies for living. So are you ready? Are you ready for your daily dose of radio rehab?
I'm ready.
Yeah?
Are we dreaming though?
We may be dreaming all of it. Hey, folks, welcome. Welcome into another edition of Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillan. She is psychotherapist, PLPC Lauren Leon McMillan. You know, I was thinking about that old song earlier today by the Everly Brothers. All I have to do is dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of goes with what the question you're asking. Yeah, maybe this whole thing. I don't know.
Maybe so.
Maybe
life is but a dream.
Maybe we need a life strategist who can help pull this apart for us. What do you think?
That sounds like a great idea.
In fact, I don't think, I think we don't talk enough about dreams. I mean, we talk some on strategies.
Right.
I think we should talk more.
I totally agree.
Because I think
they're rich.
They are. Way back when, Dr. Freud, everybody bow, he said that our dreams were the royal road to the unconscious.
Right.
And, Freud may not have been right about everything, but I think he was on target there. And I think that we just scratch the surface when it comes to dreaming. And our life strategist today has an interesting take. Her book is called Ancestral Dreaming. She is Linda Yael Schiller, and this is about healing generational wounds through dream work. Isn't that interesting?
It's very exciting.
We are the dreams of our ancestors, the future embodiment of their hopes and visions. That gives us a lot to chew on, doesn't it?
I'd say.
Yeah, well, we need a life strategist to make this make sense. So, folks, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you being with us here on Strategies for Living, and we appreciate our sponsors who make it all possible. The Robinson Film Center, and Azalea Cleaners, and Pintail Roofing, and Learning RX. We train your brain. The Balanced Life Wellness Center, Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of the Godfather, Alligator Italian Sausage, pretty good Muffies too, SRT Sales Training, Uprising Addiction Center, and Mira Direct Primary Care. Back in a moment to meet Linda Yael Schiller and talk about dreaming here on Strategies. Stay with us.
Tune in daily, find the light. Healthy mind and spirits bright. Strategies for living strong. Feel the vibe, it won't go wrong. Body moves and soul align. Catch the rhythm, feel the time. Radio rehab every day. Chase those clouds of gray away. Your daily dose of radio rehab. Lift you up when skies seem drab. Mind and body, spirits free. Living life in harmony.
And welcome into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan. Let's welcome into the program now Linda Yael Schiller, who is a mind, body, and spiritual psychotherapist. She's a consultant, author, international teacher. She's also the author of Modern Dream Work and PTS Dreams. Linda facilitates group dream circles, provides individual, group, and corporate consultation, trains professionals on working with dreams, and has designed several innovative methods herself. She's trained in numerous mind-body methods like EMDR and EFT and energy psychology, Enneagram, and integrated trauma treatments. And it is a delight to welcome Linda Yael Schiller here to Strategies for Living. Linda, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. A pleasure to be here.
So I was just thinking, you probably heard, I was thinking of that old song was in my head. All I've got to do is dream, dream.
Yes. I'm old
won't,
enough so that I remember it too.
yeah. But how did you get focused and interested in your work on doing dream work? I wish more would, and I'm glad you do. But how did you get started in it?
Sure. Well, I'll echo you, and then I'll tell you my origin story, if you will. That with a nod of the head to Dr. Freud, but a bigger nod actually to Dr. Carl Jung.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, he's more my my mentor than Freud. I think you spoke very well, and you said he didn't get everything right, but some things he did.
I have a shirt that I wear often that says "I want to be forever Jung."
Oh, that's terrific! I think I've seen that advertised somewhere. I need one of those. But as a psychotherapist and a trauma worker, I have been doing work with sort of the deep self for many, many, many years. And the fastest way and the most informative way to get to the deep self is to be able to work with the things that our conscious mind doesn't have access to. So when we are awake, we're primarily using our prefrontal cortex, the front of our brain, our thinking brain,
right,
and our limbic system, our feeling brain, and our motor brains. Our motor brain is working while we're awake, but our limbic system is shut down. However, while we're asleep, that reverses, and we have access to parts of ourselves, to parts of our deeper awareness and consciousness that we simply don't have access to in our waking life. This does give us a fast track to understanding our emotions, understanding our issues, understanding our problems, having fun with our dreams, enjoying the meaning and the metaphors, because there's so many layers of meaning in each dream.
Right.
And for all of us, it's just so informative to be able to pay attention to our dreams, and we learn so much about ourselves. And for anyone who's working with others in the field in any kind of a healing capacity, it's one of the most untapped and unused resources that can really deepen the work and make it go faster, because then you have access to more parts of your brain and your psyche than you do while you're awake. So that's a shout out for doing dream work in general. And how I got started was sort of a synchronistic accident. We were talking about synchronicities before with our pets here in the room. Right. A friend of mine moved up to the Boston area some 40 years ago from New York City, and she said, I don't miss anything about living in New York. It's too big of a city for me, except in just my dream circle. I'm going to start one in Boston. And she said, will you be in a dream group with me?
Oh.
And I said, yes.
Yeah.
And then the next thing after I said yes was, what's a dream group?
Yeah.
So my deepest self knew to say yes to this before I actually knew what I was even saying yes to. And that was kind of how it started. And we formed over 40 years ago, and we read all the books we could get our hands on, and we went to workshops, and I joined the IASD, which is the International Association for the Study of Dreams. And it's really become my life's work, from that simple saying yes to something unknown.
So for those who don't know, what is a dream group? What does that look like?
Yeah, what is that?
So it's a group of people who get together, and it could be a variety of different sizes, and it could be meeting once, it could be meeting ongoing, it could be a set group of people, or it could be open-ended. You get together and you talk about your dreams. And people take turns sharing their dreams, and everyone else in the group interacts with the dreamer to help them unpack the multiple layers of meaning of their dream. And what is wonderful about both for the individual bringing the dream and for the rest of the group is Carl Jung famously said that even he needed help from somebody else to understand fully his own dreams, because it's like trying to see the back of your head without two mirrors. You just can't.
Right.
So we need at least one other person to really get to what is still buried in our unconscious. And when we have a group of people, it's exponentially even more informative. And then what's wonderful for everyone in the group is we resonate with everyone else's dream. So when you share a dream with me, I get a hit, a resonance, something from my life out of working on your dream. So it's a win-win for everyone in the group.
Yeah, kind of another synergy, if you will. The whole's greater than the sum of the parts. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's right. Yes.
You know, through the years in working with folks, I noticed a couple of things. And, you know, I invited people to bring their dreams in. And what I found often was people expressing even a fear to engage their dreaming. And on the other end of the spectrum, once somebody did, oftentimes it was like, oh, I got to do more of this, you know? Right. And so why are we reticent about our, something as close to us as our dreams, Linda?
Well, you know, I think it has a lot to do with living in modern society and in the Western world, where we are taught to value production and information and things that we can understand in a linear fashion with the left side of our brain. We're taught to think analytically and cognitively, and that's what is given value in society. So we're more suspicious and less comfortable of looking at the things that come from the right side of our brain, our creative side, our spiritual side. And that's the part of I can't say all, but all that I know of Native Indigenous culture value the dreams very, very highly and value these uncanny ways of knowing that you don't necessarily go in a linear direction. We move in circles and spirals, and that's actually how growth happens, only we're not comfortable with that because we're not used to acknowledging it or appreciating it. So I think that's one reason why people are reticent initially to go there, if you will. And then the other thing is dream work has kind of gotten a bad rap. You know, people say, oh, it's just woo-woo stuff and it's like seances and all sorts of things that in the wrong hands can be silly. In the right hands are the deepest source of wisdom we can find.
Absolutely. You open the book, and the book is called, I'll hold it up here to the radio so people can see it. Yeah, beautiful cover. Ancestry Dreaming is the name, and Ancestral Dreaming. And so you open it up with the sentence, we are the dreams of our ancestors.
Right.
We carry their lives within our DNA and within our energy bodies. We carry both the shredded remnants of past wounds and shining grain of sand that created the pearl. Ooh. Eloquent words. I love that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Unpack that a bit for us. We are the dreams of our ancestors.
Okay. So there are several of unpacking. And the first is all of us have people who came before us in our family line, our ancestors, and people who come after us, our descendants. Mm-hmm. Now, our descendants are not only, or our ancestors for that matter as well, are not only biological. They're anyone who we learned from, who was a teacher to us, a mentor to us, a spiritual guide to us, or that we were that for them. So I'm using the word ancestors and descendants in its broadest form, including thinking about the earth itself, Gaia, as our first ancestor, our feet on the ground. Mm-hmm. So that's one layer of the unpacking. In our family line, in our own history, we have parents, grandparents, great-grandparents who had either pretty good lives or pretty horrible and difficult lives. Either way, they had a hope for what would their children inherit, how would their children's lives be, what would their grandchildren, how could their grandchildren do even better than them, no matter how they were living? And that was the impetus for many of our ancestors and our relatives leaving their country of origin to go somewhere else, hoping for a better life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dreaming for a better life, if you will.
Exactly right, in both meanings of the word dream. Yes.
Ancestral Dreaming is the name of Linda Yael Schiller's book. It's out from Llewellyn, and you can find it wherever you buy books. We're talking and learning from life strategist Linda Yael Schiller today here on Strategies for Living, and we've got much more to learn. So don't go away. Stay right where you are. More about dreams to unpack and to learn on Strategies.
Problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies for living radio.
And welcome back into Strategies for Living Radio. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan. We're with Linda Yael Schiller today. Her wonderful book is Ancestral Dreaming, How Generational Wounds Heal Generational Wounds Through Dream Work. And so we kind of set the stage last segment, talking a little bit in general about how powerful dream work can be. Do you recommend? I already know the answer to this because I've read the book, but I'm gonna ask the question anyway. Do you recommend that people keep a dream journal, Linda?
I'm tempted to turn that back to you since you read the book, but I'll just answer your question. And of course, yes, I do. And the reason is that we have a very hard time remembering our dreams if we don't record them. Yes. And anyone who's listening knows that you've had a dream, you wake up and you say, oh, wow, that was such an interesting dream. You get up to, brush your teeth. 2 seconds later, you can't remember your dream because poof, it's gone like smoke or mist. So we need to anchor these things down because to be able to work with our dreams, for starters, we have to remember them. And people will sometimes say, oh, I don't dream or I never dream. Actually, we all dream every night between 5 to 7 dreams during our REM cycles because we have 7 sleep cycles, REM cycles. And during the REM, the rapid eye movement, so part of it, we are dreaming. We just tend to remember the ones that happen just before we wake up, though. Yeah. So keep a journal right by your bed. Keep your pen with ink in it and your pencil sharpened, or if you must, record it on your device. What I always say to people, if you need to voice record it, transcribe it later because you'll get more out of it if you write it down, because the physical act of writing it will trigger other dream memories that just talking into your phone may not have been able to be captured.
Yeah. I think it's what you're saying is so important. I don't mind you turning it back on me, because it's like through the years when I've wanted to really dive in and work with my dreams, I even keep a notebook by the bed.
Yeah.
And you might not wake up all the way, but even if I scratch
a few keywords,
a few keywords, then I got it the next morning. But then if I don't deal with it, you're exactly right. You may lose the most important piece of it, because your waking mind, your conscious mind takes over and gets busy doing conscious mind things.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So is some of this, especially like the keeping the dream journal, and I'm glad you made the point that everybody dreams, because there are some people that say, "Oh, I don't." Well, yes, you do. You just don't remember them. Is it important to do the things like we're talking about today, to let your subconscious mind and conscious mind together know, okay, it's okay. It's okay to release and give, open up the door or the gateway, if you will.
Right. Right.
I guess I'm asking, how important is that intent?
So the intent is very important, and even before the intent would be the desire. So if you really don't care, and if dreams are not important to you, then why bother writing them down? I mean, just makes sense from that perspective.
Yeah.
But if you come to the place where you say, this is interesting to me, there are more things I can learn, and dreams can give us so much information for no therapeutic fee, for your own dreams.
Yeah.
So if you have an issue, a dilemma, a problem, large or small, that you're trying to figure out in your life, you can do what's called incubating a dream to get answers.
Yeah.
And that is simply you write down, you spend a few minutes before sleeping and write down the dilemma or the issue or the concern you have, and then end your writing with a question. And tell yourself before going to sleep that you're going to dream, you want to dream, and you will record the dream, and that the dream will somewhere in it have a response to the question you're asking. Now, inevitably, you will get an answer. You might have to unpack the dream and find the layers of meaning and association, and you might have to ask the question more than once. But there have been so many cases of people who describe health issues they were struggling with, that they got the answer to healing remedies in their dreams, creative pursuits, art and dance and music that were created in dreams. People fall asleep saying, "Oh, what's the next step in my painting or my musical score?" And they dream it and wake up and write it down or draw it, and there it is. So to recognize the value makes us more likely to then remember and record our dreams.
Yeah. I love in the book, we were talking about ancestors and ancestral dreaming. I love the 6 ancestral calls. Like the first one. I'll let you talk about the rest of them, but I love the first one especially. I'm still here. You're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not alone here.
Yeah.
So many people, you'll come to points in their life where it feels like I'm alone. I'm by myself. Yeah. So what are some of the other ancestral calls?
Sure. So the calls come through when we have departed relatives who we want to be connected with and they want to be connected with us. And a lot of in this book is about how do we stay connected with our beloveds? How do we heal from grief at their passing? And how do we not only heal ourselves, but heal them if they died with unresolved pain and trauma?
Yeah.
So, and this goes back to the circular and spiral nature of time and space, because when we're dealing with a dream, we're dealing with the past, the present, and the future all at the same time, right? Because in a dream, if you think about it, you never dream yesterday this happened or tomorrow this happens. It's always now in the dream.
Yeah.
And so when it's now, we're inhabiting sacred time. So this allows us to move back and forth through time and space to make these connections and this healing.
Yeah.
So the 6 calls I delineated, the first one is, as you said, one is, I'm still here. And so many people have talked about receiving a contact or visitation from a relative who has departed. And it's such a comfort at a time of loss to get that message from the relative. The second one is, I have a gift or a blessing to give you from over here on the other side. The third is, you need some help in something that you haven't been able to figure out. And from over here, from my perspective, I can help you. So here's some advice. Here's some suggestions for you. That's number 3. Yeah. Number 4, then, is when we have relatives who died in pain, with trauma, with wounding, and were not able to resolve that or come to a place of peace and healing before they passed over. So in those cases, the call from our ancestors could be, help me. I'm still in pain. I'm still stuck here. I can't finish my journey back to the light. So then we, through various exercises and ways of working that I describe in the book, we help them through this infinity of time and space to do the healing they need so they can finish their journey. And in doing so, then we get to heal ourselves, because what's passed on, rather than the pain and the trauma, becomes the healing. And then we can pass that healing on to our children and our grandchildren rather than the story of pain. So those are, do you want me to finish the list?
Then there's the old grudges.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. And the number 5 is, sometimes, if you think about your family tree, your genogram, or in your own life, sometimes there are people in your family that are holding grudges against each other, or somebody doesn't talk to somebody, or there's a cutoff somewhere, and you may or may not even know why. And these grudges and cutoffs get passed on from generation to generation. We think about the Hatfields and the McCoys. We think about Romeo and Juliet, the Montagues and the Capulets. And we want to stop passing on grudges before anybody else dies because of it.
Yeah.
So if our ancestors come through saying, hey, we want you to carry on this grudge, then we have an option and a mission, if you will, to say no to that and to help them finish their journey so that they are not interfering in our life with their grudges, and that we get to kind of clean up that messy background of grudge holding and grudge transferring from generation to generation.
That's so interesting that we can actually help our ancestors. They can help us heal, and we can help them heal. And that's so powerful.
Thank you. And then the very last one, and with all of these, we could go on and on with examples and talk other things, but the last one is simply, remember me. Tell my stories, use my china for Thanksgiving. When you make your stuffing recipe, say, oh, this was my Grandma Holly's stuffing recipe. Pass on the artifacts of their life and their pictures so that we are holding them in our present life, because we are more than just a singularity. We are a collection of stories and a collection of families. So to remember them and carry on their name is sometimes the message that they're asking of us as well.
Yeah. It's interesting. I got to take a break here, but it's interesting that your book is Ancestral Dreaming, but you originally, there was a different title. And the title was Bring Home My Bones.
That's right.
We got to take a break, but I want to come back and talk about
All right, we'll come back to the bones.
We'll come back and go to the bones.
No bones about it.
No bones. Oh.
Oh, very good.
Ancestral dreaming and heal generational wounds through dream work. Can it be that easy? Yeah, I think it can. Linda Yael Schiller is teaching us about it today here on Strategies for Living. We've got more to learn, more to come, so stay right where you are. We'll be right back.
We all have problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies for living radio.
And welcome back in. Welcome back into Strategies for Living Radio. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan. We are with the author of Ancestral Dreaming today. She is Linda Yael Schiller, talking about healing generational wounds and doing that through dream work. The book is out wherever you buy books. It's out from Llewellyn. And I hope you will. The book is so packed. It is so rich. We're just barely scratching the surface of it. So I invite you, get this book. It's important.
Yeah.
So originally you were going to call the book Bring Home My Bones, huh?
Right. So the idea of bones and the importance of our bones goes through multiple cultures and multiple ways of being in the world, and all the way back in our spiritual sources in the sacred books of many cultures. We talk about bones, and we talk about, and in our culture, we have burials and or cremation. And what we literally do with the bones of our family members is really, really important, not just for the people who have passed, but for those of us who are still alive. Because the bones of our body contain the essence of who we are. Deep inside of our own bones is our bone marrow. And that is where our red blood cells are, and our DNA and our genetic traits. Mm-hmm. So literally in our bones, we have the blueprints of our own life, our children's lives, and our ancestors' life. Mm-hmm. And in many cultures throughout the world, bones are thought to have a spiritual resonance as well. In Hawaii, for example, the mana, or the life force, is said to be infused into bones. And that's what creates sacred ground, is when bones are buried there. And in Christianity, bones are often held of saints and in reliquaries, and they're thought to have spiritual or magical powers.
Right.
And if we go back to the Tanakh, to the Old Testament, all the foremothers and forefathers wanted to have their bones brought back to the land that they were from. Mm. That's what Jacob said to Joseph when they went down to Egypt during the famine, and that's what Joseph said to all his brothers when they came back from Egypt: bring home my bones, so that the family, if you will, stay together. Yeah. So that's kind of where I got the idea from, of, the original title of the book, of Bringing Home My Bones.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. I'm glad you changed it to Ancestral Dreaming, because again, it says exactly what you're doing. But I love I love Bring Home My Bones too. Yeah. Love that idea.
Yeah. Thank you.
So how do we become, how do we if we want to be a wise and we want to be a good future ancestor, what are the ways that, what do we need to do to prepare ourselves? What do we need to do to get ourselves ready, Linda?
Sure. So there are many ways to recognize, to honor, to heal and to have good boundaries, as the case may be, with our ancestors. So the lives that we touch will be touched, and then we will pass on what we inherit and what we honor from our ancestors. And connections are what heal us. At the end of the day, having connections with other people in our lives is what is going to be important. So connecting with our past and passing on healed and good connections will allow us to then pass those good connections on to our descendants. And it helps us heal from grief to honor our ancestors. It helps us pass on the continuity. And being a good future ancestor means acknowledging that the things we do today are going to affect our descendants, whether they're literal children biologically or adopted. I have a whole section in the book about adoption, or our students, or our clients when appropriate. What we pass on is carried on from generation to generation to generation. So anything that enhances your ability to tell the story and to honor and to lift up our ancestors is going to allow us then to be a good future ancestor. Making a family tree so we know where we came from. I remember not that long ago, my niece was visiting, and I pulled out my old genogram that I did when I was in social work school.
Yeah.
And we were looking at the family tree, the genogram together, and we realized that I hadn't updated it in a long time, and there were marriages and children and divorces and all sorts of things that had to be added that weren't quite updated. And when my niece looked at it, she said, "Oh, who's this? And oh, who's that?" People that she didn't even know existed in the family until we sat down and looked together at the family tree that luckily I was given the assignment to make back some, 40 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
Years ago, I had a client come and I taught him how to do a genogram. And she did, and brought it back in, and we worked with it a bit. And then she said, thank you for this. But I've got good news and bad news. And okay, well, give me the good news. She said, I'm much better just doing this. I said, well, what's the bad news? And she said, I'm not making an appointment to come back. I'll see you again if I need you. So
that is actually, for those of us who make a living by people, who come to need to do some healing, that's also the good news and the bad news. The good news is we were able to be of help, and we were so happy that they're feeling better. And the bad news is this is how we make our living.
But I think that's wonderful.
Really, it is. It's the best news for someone to say, I feel better and I resolved something. And particularly, we know that silences are so toxic, and so many families have things that are silenced or not talked about, and to unearth these and to bring them to light and to resolve them allows people to move forward with a wholeness and a fullness that they didn't have when they were cut off.
Absolutely. Our silences and our secrets are what keep us sick.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you want to break through some of this in a very unique way, well, I'm going to recommend that you get this book, Ancestral Dreaming, Heal Generational Wounds Through Dream Work. Be prepared. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot about dream work. You're going to learn how powerful it is, too. It's out at your favorite bookseller, wherever you buy books. It's called Ancestral Dreaming, Linda Yael Schiller. And people can also access you through your website, right, Linda?
That's right. That's right.
LindaYaelSchiller.com. And
correct.
I hope you'll do that. We'll be back. More strategies in just a moment here on Strategies for Living. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Leon McMillan, David McMillan, and Linda Yael Schiller. Ancestral Dreaming. I gave the website, Linda Yael Schiller. It's Linda, and then YaelSchiller.com. And you can find lots more information there. I hope you'll get the book, Ancestral Dreaming. Linda, we've covered a lot of ground today. What do you want to leave us with? What's the one thing you want people to especially take away from our time here today?
Thank you. I think the two things. One is to value and honor the importance of dreams, of your dreams, and know that they contain wisdom that is especially for you. And second, that the title of the book says Healing Intergenerational Wounds Through Dream Work. And we know that if we can inherit trauma and pain through our ancestors and in our dreams and nightmares, we can also inherit hope and healing and redemption. So that the trajectory is that of healing our lives and moving forward and repairing ourselves and future generations in the world.
So very well said. Linda, I hope you'll come back and be a life strategist again and talk more about dreams with us. Will you do that?
Oh, thank you very much. I'd be delighted to.
We'll have you back. In the meantime, folks, you can continue the conversation with Linda through her book, Ancestral Dreaming, out from Llewellyn, wherever you buy books. Linda Yael Schiller. Thank you for being with us here on Strategies, and we appreciate our sponsors who make it all possible. The Robinson Film Center, and Azalea Cleaners, and Pintail Roofing, and Learning RX, we train your brain. And Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of the Godfather, alligator Italian sausage, and some pretty good muffies, too. The Balanced Life Wellness Center, SRT Sales Training, Uprising Addiction Center, and Mira Direct Primary Care. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call to make, who would you call? And what would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Linda Yael Schiller and for Lauren Leon McMillan, I'm David McMillan. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.